Hey guys, what's up? And figured I'd do a how-to tutorial for modding a blaster because I haven't done one in a while. And I really enjoy making them, and I know like a lot of people like to watch them just because that's what modding is all about, actually modifying blasters. And wanted to do a good one here for you guys. So I was at Target the other day, and this was on like super sale. So I got, I believe, two of them, and it was around $7-ish for two quick 16s, which is a pretty good price because they're normally around 20-ish, usually in Target, like 20 something. I'm not too positive. I haven't really paid that much attention to them, but I mean, they were really cheap, and these are only two left, so I picked both of them up. And I'm gonna mod one. So I haven't mod one before, however, it has like a built-in clip, so it looks pretty cool. So I've got my backpacking survival knife here, which is the only one I could seem to find at the moment, and it is more than capable of opening this box. Plus, I mean, Nerfers like big knives apparently, so I think it's just it might just be a coincidence, but I think it's funny. Let's see if we can slide this whole thing out. There we go. I've never had one of these before, so I saw the other one in the box. However, I think they're trying to make some room for newer blasters like the, I don't know if Elite is for their S only, but they'll probably make a way for some new blasters. Instruction manual that we don't need. Some darts. I've never had any of these style darts before. I have the old school dart tag blasters, but I've never had any of the newer style darts. And then this looks like it just sits right in here. So, yeah, I mean, with the price like this, can't go wrong. So, I've seen this blaster before. It feels pretty heavy, so I like it. Has slam fire. Looks like jam doors right here. Yeah, that's back there. You just put the darts in up here, and then it fires them. So I really like this whole built-in bag thing. I think it could be really cool. I don't play HVZ, but I think it'd be helpful just to reload on the fly like that. And plus the design of this shell is pretty cool too. It's got some built-in dart tag logos. Here's a pretty good one. I really like the cosmetics of this too, so I'll probably give it a full paint job, similar to the Maverick that I just did. So I'm going to start unscrewing this, do a cut off, and that should be good. So I will be back in a minute after it's all disassembled. Okay, now there are two different size screws on this. Well, two oddly sized screws. Most of them are the same in the grip and the main body. The two different ones are, there's one that's pretty long, and that goes right here in this port right under where it says dart tag. And there's a smaller one which goes to the back of this keyring, back here where my thumb is, like right on up here where I'm touching now. So those are the two only different size screws. The rest of them are pretty standard. I have them in small cups right now just to hold onto them, because I have a bad habit of losing screws. So when it's all undone, the grip pops right off, similar to a Raider or any other blaster like an Alpha Trooper even. Then it should just break right apart. The magazine clip opens up like that, which reveals this whole assembly on the inside with the spring. Well, I've never opened this before, but looks like when you pull this down, there's a wire spring which will pull it back up, and that's attached to this cup right here, which will go right here apparently. And there's almost rollers on the side, so looks like it breaks down further into, I'm assuming this L piece will pop right off the top. Leaving it with that. I don't think this L piece is necessary, however, I like the look of it. Let me just place it down here. What else? This L piece should come off the other side too. Maybe not. Yeah, I'll not mess with it now on camera. So looks like you should be able to pry this blaster apart. Oh, hidden screws. I'm gonna go do them now. There's a few hidden screws under the magwell, apparently. So I'm gonna go do that now. Okay, now opening this blaster has been a challenge in of itself because it's been pretty difficult. So not difficult because it's hard to undo screws, I mean righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, but in the manner that it had like 9 hidden screws once I took off the first shell and the yellow piece, and I've recorded this segment, well not this exact segment, but this breaking down segment like 4 times because I keep missing hidden screws, but I finally opened it, and that was actually my first time successfully opening it because it's been quite a pain because I guess they just blend right into the shell. So let's look at it a little more closely. We have our trigger right here, our catch up here. It looks like the back plate right here. Got our reverse plunger blaster. Our breech, our tooth is behind this piece. The priming bar is right here, that's where the handle goes on. Then we've got our fake barrel right here, faux barrel, whatever you want to call it. Now I'm going to open it up and probably work on the plunger tube first. So I'm going to get started. Okay, now this is the plunger tube itself. If you pop out the pin that was up here, you can take it off the bolt sled and the dark tooth area in front of it. So basically, the seal's okay, but I'm going to put some Teflon tape under it, and I'm going to plug up these 2 air release holes. There's a big one, and then there's a really tiny one down there you can kind of see. So I'm going to go wash this off to get rid of the lubricant that was already on there. And I was debating on putting a piece of brass in here, however this is such a high rate of fire blaster that if anything were to happen and it wouldn't feed 100% correctly, especially on slam fire, it would just jam the entire blaster and that would make it useless in a tight spot. So I'm just going to wash this off, and I'm going to start doing that now, and I'll show you as I go. And I have a new way of getting at the air restrictor, which should be fun because it involves large drill bits. So I'm going to go wash this off, and then I'll keep going. Okay, now my new favorite way of getting rid of these pesky air restrictors is to use this, which is a 1/2-inch drill bit, which is double the size of the 1/4-inch drill bit, which I used to use and aim for the little posts on the inside. However, with this one, it just fits in the end here. So what I'm going to do, plop it in there and just drill it out. So that's my plan, and I'm going to do that now. Okay, now I've put E-tape over the 2 air release holes, and I still need to wash it out, but as you can see, that 1/2-inch drill bit just destroyed that air restrictor. So I'm gonna go wash that out in a sec, and then gonna put some Teflon tape under the O-ring to get a perfect seal. So this should be a pretty sweet breech because now it has no restrictions. It has 100% seal from the breech where the dart is loaded to the actual O-ring back here. So when it's compressing with the spring, it's getting 100% of the power into the dart instead of losing it from the restrictor and these 2 holes. So it should be pretty powerful now. So I'm going to go do that and then re-grease it with some silicone grease to get the full effect. So that should be pretty powerful now, and I should be getting good seals. So hopefully that will improve the range. Okay, now the seal that I'm getting on this is pretty good. Just to show you, I'll pull it out, throw it in dart, and then slowly push it back just to watch the pressure build up. It actually shoots the dart out, which is pretty cool. And then doing it a bit faster, I'll use an old style tiger because I don't have any of the new ones unboxed yet. But works pretty well. So excited to see that in a blaster, and I still have to paint this thing. So I'm still debating if I want to paint it or not because I can do the similar style to the Maverick that I just did, so I'm debating about it. However, we'll see what happens. So I just want to show off that plunger tube because it's pretty awesome. Okay, now just showing that all of my external pieces are sanded, prepped, and ready for their base coat. Before then they will get multiple other layers of paint. However, they're sanded and prepped, and I'm going to start painting now. Okay, now as you can see, I have done a few coats on some of these pieces. However, they're not completely finished because as I was painting, it started torrentially downpouring. So basically, the gunmetal or hammered finish pieces look like they're pretty much done. However, the white pieces need a few more coats. That's the inside of the magazine, so that really doesn't need to be painted. However, I'm really taking my time with this white because white's a tricky color. Especially because if you put too much of it on, it's too thick, it could just not look very good. So I'm taking my time and I'm doing a lot of really thin layers with this white just to give it a good look. However, I've put all the pieces together and they look pretty nice. I want to do a bit more on the external piece of this magazine, which goes right here, because that looks kind of plain. I want to maybe do this area right here with some more, and then the 16 potentially. So I want to do that still, and I have to do some more layers first. So that's how the painting is going so far, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, now I'm pretty much done with putting most of the internals back in. I finished the main firing mechanism itself, so here's the last internal shot with all the stuff I've done to it. So far, you can basically see the two air release holes that I've covered, and most of the stuff is painted, as you could tell. Now, one thing that I found interesting that I wanted to point out before I fully assembled this was when I was playing around with this slide rail. The spring is still up here, I need to attach it, but there are these two posts down here that seem to limit it right there. I think if you were to grind these off with a Dremel or a file, you can probably fit an extra dart or two in this built-in magazine. However, I don't have any more of these dark tag darts except for in the other Quick 16, which I didn't open yet. The rest of them are just standard darts, so the only actual new style dark tag darts that I have are those ones, so I won't be doing this. However, if you're interested, I think you can get some extra micros in there, so if you're interested, do that, and I'm going to finish assembling it and show you what it looks like. Okay, here is the finished product after all of my modding and the paint job. So starting with the front, I kept the orange tip. The priming handle is the hammered finish, and the rest is just kind of a flat white. I left the magazine all white. Originally I was debating about painting it. However, I decided not to because I thought it looked fine like that. Ranges are averaging around 40, which is pretty good for a reverse plunger blaster. However, you don't really get it for the range. This is more of a rate of fire blaster and a quick reload. So I'm gonna load up a few taggers right now. But I really like this blaster. The slam fire makes it really usable. I think if I played HBZ, I would probably get this blaster just for that. Plus it was, like I said, on sale, so can't go wrong. And that was the slam fire too, which is pretty nice. Like I said, slam fire just makes this rate of fire pretty good. So overall, I really like how this blaster turned out. I think that the paint job makes it look nice, and just the performance is pretty good. I think I'd use it if I played Humans vs. Zombies, but I'd probably go with either this or Raven. But that was my mod tutorial of the Dark Tags Quick 16, so thank you for watching, and check out my channel if you want to see some other cool videos. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.